So first off, the top 3 things that if you have an inflamed prostate or an enlarged prostate that you should absolutely never eat: leftovers, right? So before your family shoots me, because most people don't really want to eat leftovers anyway, let me clarify. What we're doing when we're doing leftovers is we're finding these packaged containers, this plastic, and we are putting the food in there and storing it in there, and we're putting it in the refrigerator. So then you get to work the next day, or you get home and you stick it in a microwave and take it out and you eat it, okay? It's not the leftover that's causing the issue, but it's the container that we have put in the refrigerator and now we're putting it into the microwave. Listen, there is something called a phthalate, which will leak out from any plastic, even if it's BPA free, that will leak out once you microwave that plastic into your food. Now you're taking your food in, and now you have disrupted your body's ability to make testosterone. Not only have you disrupted your body's ability to make testosterone, but now you're putting fake estrogens into your body, which will disrupt and cause the prostate to grow in size. So there's 2 things that we worry about in terms of increasing the size of the prostate. 1 is inflammation, and 2 are fake estrogens and chemical toxins that are causing this decrease in testosterone, this rise in fake estrogen, and throwing everything off. All right, so the first thing that I want you to avoid are leftovers in plastic containers that, because it's in there, we're sticking it in the microwave and then we're eating it. That is the first thing that we absolutely have to avoid, all right? Okay, so now the other thing that I want to make sure that you know, that if you have an enlarged prostate or think you have an enlarged prostate, the other thing that you should absolutely never, ever, ever eat is microwave popcorn. All right, now microwave popcorn is the devil for a lot of different reasons, right? So not only should you consider not eating it if you have prostate inflammation, it really is just something that's kind of terrible across the board, because what they're doing is when they're putting that corn, because popcorn, generally speaking, is pretty good for you, right? It's rich in fiber. It can help you with your bowels moving, It is a grain, but there's technically not a whole lot wrong with popcorn. If you're cooking it in a good quality oil, you're using a little bit of sea salt, maybe a little grass-fed butter melted on top, I don't see anything wrong with that. But the problem with microwaved popping corn is the lining of the bag. Okay, so first of all, they're lining the bag with like PFOAs. Now, this is like perfluoroacetic acid. And the problem with this is that it is considered to be a carcinogen, but it's linked to cancer, it's linked to infertility issues in lab animals once it's heated up. So the interesting thing is, if it's linked to all these issues in lab animals when you heat it up, and now all we're really doing is heating it up. You can't eat microwave popcorn without heating it up. Now we've got a hot mess of a problem. Now, the other thing is, there's something in a lot of microwave popcorn when you see on the side of the bag where it says artificial flavor or butter flavoring or butter flavored, right? They're not using real butter here. What they're actually using is something called TBHQ and diacetyl butter flavoring, right? You can barely even say the words, but it usually says artificial flavoring, so on and so forth. The problem with it is that it's linked to brain inflammation. It's linked to different forms of dementia, right? So if you are eating microwave popcorn every time you got Netflix, you got your bag of popcorn, it is part of your process. I want you to change your process to just putting a pot on the stove, a wok on the stove, putting the oil in there, and just popping old-fashioned popping corn. Put in the little sea salt on it, butter drizzle if you need it, but you got to avoid these things. There's problems with the packaging, and there's problems with everything that they're putting in there, right? So please avoid microwave popping corn, because remember, one of the big things that we have to worry about are chemicals that are going to disrupt the production of testosterone, chemicals that are going to be fake estrogen, but also inflammation. And eat a bag of microwave popping corn and you'll notice the average one of them, you'll just not feel good. You have this funny taste on your tongue and just, feel a little out of sorts. That's inflammation picking up. And some of the worst varieties are the ones you get at the dollar store, right? I was in the dollar store the other day, which I stopped going to, by the way, for obvious reasons. And I looked at the back of the ingredients. I mean, you should see it. So one of the key takeaways too is look on the ingredient list of everything you're about to eat. And if there's more than 6 things in there and most of them you can't pronounce, let's leave it on the shelf and go somewhere else. Shop on the periphery of the aisles. Don't go down through those aisles where all the packaged goods are, right? The other thing, and I want to put a picture up of this one because I feel like this type of thing is the reason why so many of us are in bad health right now. Unilever came through and convinced the world with fancy marketing schemes that fake butters were going to be healthier for us than real butter. So we got things like, I can't believe it's not butter. We got things like Country Crock. We got all of these fake butters, but what we got instead of a healthier version is we got heart disease, we got inflammation, we got diabetes. So you've got to now go back to your house and let everybody know, listen, we're throwing out the fake butters. And if we're going to use butter, we're going to use butter or we're going to use ghee. We're not using canola oil. We're not using canola bola fake butter. We're not going to believe it's just like butter, because what they're doing now is really smart. They're calling it plant-based. They've really kind of remarketed it so that these same products that used to be, I can't believe it's not butter, they'll be like plant-based. And because they've done such a good job of making you think that plant-based is better than just good old-fashioned hunting and gathering animals and just eating them, now you've got a situation where this type of stuff is fueling inflammation, it's fueling heart disease, it's damaging the lining of your blood vessels and endothelium and interfering with the production of testosterone and causing a rise or an increase in the fake chemical estrogens, right? So it's interfering with fertility, it's interfering with prostates, it's interfering with erectile function, it's interfering with our brain, we can't focus. So please, 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 these 3 things, leftovers in the plastic that you're going to microwave, nope. You got to either house it in silicone, you've got to house it in glass, or just, if you don't have any of those things, throw it out, right? Ceramic even is better than that. That stainless steel you can do. Don't use aluminum, because aluminum will leach out into the blood too, into the food too. And then when you go to warm it, the aluminum is still in there. The other thing is the microwave popping corn. There's so much wrong with it that you shouldn't even allow it in your house. And then the third thing are the fake butters, the plant-based butters. If it's not ghee, if it's not butter, please don't think that you're doing yourself a service by eating it. It's actually making inflammation and making everything worse. All right. So this is great.